Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 444 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng and the team of the captain were waiting for an opportunity outside the true god level battlefield. The craziest battle in Nine Smoke Marsh was the battle among those law masters. It was an insane war, during which many weak law masters died. There were tens of millions of law masters combined from Xianyu Mountain and Nine Smoke Marsh. 1/3 of them had already died. It was a matter of training and screening. Lots of law masters who survived this would quickly become true gods. That idiot, Milky Way. He wants to get a body of a true god? Does he really think it's that easy? Wu his tail slashed, and he immediately moved in the vast battlefield of Nine Smoke Marsh. Sometimes, he raced toward the tribal warriors from Xianyu Mountain, roaring, "Kill! Kill those bastards from Xianyu Mountain!" Some strange beasts beside him also roared and charged at the tribal warriors. Nine Smoke Marsh was enormous, and there were many law masters. There might have been law masters being born and old masters dying during the battle. Knowing 80% of the law masters was helpful. They saw that Wu He was a strange beast, and they were trying to kill the tribal warriors from Xianyu Mountain. They assumed that he was just a comrade they didn't know. Kill, kill! Wu He was going insane with killing. Once a strange beast died, he immediately took the fallen weapons and armors. I've only gained 2,000 military points in 3 months. Wu He felt anxious. The battlefield was enormous. He could only take weapons and armors. Plus, he needed to be extra careful. After all, the battlefield was chaotic, and if he didn't pay enough attention, he might get killed. At the other end of the battlefield of Nine Smoke Marsh. Be careful, everyone. We're very powerful law masters, yet it's a war among over 10 million law masters. Shu Luo Ni and his friend died because they weren't careful enough. We need have lots of military credits to get, but we have to be extra careful. Soldiers led by Fa were also on the battlefield. They were all tribal warriors, so they pretended to come from Xianyu Mountain. Yes. I understand. We still have a long way to go. All the soldiers were anxious. But that was only on the surface. Deep down, all those soldiers understood that the more their teammates died, the more weapons and armor they could gain for themselves. All of them combined had barely over 10,000 weapons and pieces of armor. That was at least enough to get over 10,000 military credits so that at least one soldier could survive the task. Teammates dying was actually a good thing to them. However, nobody was personally willing to die. Soldiers led by Fa and Yu Luo and Wu He acting by himself were all trying to get the weapons and armors from Nine Smoke Marsh. And of course, they could sneak in some weapons and armors from the great beings from Xianyu Mountain as long as the military didn't detect anything suspicious. Nine Smoke Marsh was beyond huge. They couldn't get that many weapons and armors. It was destined that most of them would either die on the battlefield or be executed based on military rules. Yet they still didn't go to the battlefield of true gods. On the periphery of the battlefield of true gods, the war had been lasting for almost 4 months. Luo Feng was silently waiting for an opportunity. However, the soldiers led by the captain were in a panic. A skinny soldier in dark golden armor transmitted his furious voice. "Captain! You're always such a chicken. We won't have such an opportunity to reap the military credits after the war. Without military credits, we can only run away. However, if the military wants us dead, we will only survive for a short while. We have to earn military credits to survive." "That's right, Captain. We need to do something. We want to live. We want military credits." Several soldiers were getting frantic, while the other soldiers also looked at the captain nervously. The cold eyes under the team captain's huge horn glanced around at his teammates. He knew that those soldiers were all anxious. He had a true god body, so he didn't need to worry about survival, yet the soldiers under him couldn't be so at ease. "It would be suicide for you to go to the battlefield of true gods," the captain said coldly. "We know. That is why we're not going there. However, countless law masters are fighting each other right now, and they are all potential military credits. As long as we have enough time and get lots of weapons and armors, we can totally earn enough military credits. We'll have a better chance of surviving the battlefield of law masters." "That's right, Captain. Let's go to the battlefield of law masters." Everyone looked to the captain. The captain sneered. Gather weapons and armors for 10,000 military credits. How long do you think it'll take? If you really want to go, just go. I won't stop you. However, I'll send you a message through the communication token at a crucial moment. Tell me your coordinates, and you must come. Otherwise. Yes, Captain. We understand, Captain. If Captain summons us, we'll be there as soon as possible. Captain, we'll be going to the battlefield now. We'll follow your order, Captain. All the soldiers answered, then left secretly. After a short while, the soldiers under the captain had all left. The captain shook his head and sneered. It seems they are all panicking under the threat of death. The captain looked down on those soldiers from the bottom of his heart. However, they were, after all, soldiers from Python River Army. If they cooperated, they could exert tremendous power. If he could lead them well, they could achieve some tasks easily. He wouldn't give up on them unless he had to. Luo Feng and the team captain were standing at different spots on the periphery of the battlefield of true gods. They were prepared to show their true self at any time. Howl. The strange beast true god with 8 claws and a long neck had his soul eye gleaming. His power had already tumbled. True gods like him who didn't have true god armor were inferior to those true gods who had joined the military. Minor issues like cleaning the battlefield, patrolling, and taking the bodies of their own side all fell on those true gods. They knew that it was because they weren't powerful enough, so they would try to train themselves. However, in a fight like this, they would choose to evade the attacks once they felt that their power had tumbled. Damn it! Once a true god dies, the weapons and armor will fall from his body, and they'll be seized by the enemy who kills him. I haven't got anything yet. True god level armor and weapons were precious. However, those weapons and armors that were inferior were very common. Most law masters had them. In World of Jin, even 1,000 pinnacle true treasures couldn't equal one supreme true treasure. I must get a true god armor. I have to. The 8-hooved strange beast true god kept wandering. He had been avoiding fights and looking for an opportunity. If a true god who had a true god armor died, he would try everything in his power to seize it. However, it was very difficult for true gods at that level to die, and even if they died, he wouldn't have much of a chance to seize it. Otherwise, he would have had a true god armor already. They were wandering at different areas in the battlefield of true gods. If there aren't any other true gods around, the captain said, anxious, I can kill that 8-hooved strange beast if I use my machine-type valuable to fight him. But it's the battlefield of true gods? He has collected over 30 bodies of true gods. On the other side, Luo Feng appeared tranquil as he stared at the strange beast true god with 8 claws. He kept deducting the coordinates. His power has tumbled, he said to himself. And he doesn't have a supreme true treasure armor to protect his body. I can guarantee that I can kill him in no time. Luo Feng confirmed the strange beast true god's position. As it continued wandering, Luo Feng started to act as well. He didn't move quickly, as he didn't want his ripples to be detected by godly power. He kept approaching the battlefield of true gods. He moved very slowly and was patient. It took him more than 3 days to approach the strange beast, and he entered the battlefield of true gods. Wait, Luo Feng told himself. Wait. I'll wait for the right moment. Luo Feng kept holding back his power. For the past 3 days, and now, at this moment, he was growing more and more aggressive. He forgot all other thoughts and focused only on one goal, to kill that 8-hooved strange beast true god as soon as possible. This was his only goal. His power exploded. Luo Feng had a strong urge to pull out his blade. Why could his power only make a breakthrough in life-and-death battles? When it came to life-and-death battles, his natural instinct would concentrate all his thoughts, invoking great potential. It was definitely dangerous. How crazy was the idea of killing a true god on a battlefield of 10,000 true gods? It was insane, yet that was why Luo Feng grew even more excited. An opportunity. An opportunity. An opportunity. Luo Feng watched the 8-hooved strange beast true god coming from afar. At the moment, the strange beast was proceeding carefully. He clearly didn't want to fight the powerful true gods from Xianyu Mountain. He could barely fight those weak tribal true gods. Slowly, he drew nearer to Luo Feng's location. Luo Feng's eyes suddenly gleamed. He became livid. This is the moment. His speed accelerated, and his godly power started to burn relentlessly. The first volume of Du and Mie. He further burned his godly power. The second volume of Duan Mie. This was the second largest gain he had made in the past 8 million eras, finishing the second volume of Duan Mie. What? The strange beast true god, who had been proceeding so carefully, turned his long head around. His single eye looked back in shock. A gigantic, blurry blade shadow raced toward him with ferocious force. It's him. The eight-hooved beast true god recognized him right away. This great being that was transformed into a gigantic, blurry blade figure was crushing and rolling its way over. This was the Law Master who had stolen a true god corpse earlier on. He's just a Law Master. No matter how impressive his close combat dodging technique is, his law comprehension foundation is as superficial. From what we can see, the battle techniques that he can comprehend will not surpass what is expected of him. The eight-hooved beast true god was brimming with self-confidence. Previously, he had leaped in shock, yet the moment he determined that it was merely a Law Master he was dealing with, he no longer held onto any trace of worry. His line of thinking was not wrong. The foundation determined the technique. A universe master, being able to create a secret technique that reached the 6th tier as the top level was already adequate enough to be regarded as incredible. Before Luo Feng, within Universe Ocean, there was no such precedence. Even Luo Feng had to rely on help from the space of inheritance to be able to create a secret technique that reached the 6th tier as the top level. 7th tier as the top. Generations of Duan Dong River had been so great and powerful, yet only slightly more than half managed to create secret techniques at this level. As for the 8th tier of the generations of Duan Dong River, only 2 had managed to accomplish this level. But for true gods, even an ordinary true god, being able to create secret techniques at the 7th tier as the top to the 8th tier was nothing extraordinary. As for some super true gods, the 9th tier or even the 10th tier were achievable. This was the difference in foundation. The higher one's foundation was, the more at ease one would be when it came to comprehension. This eight-hooved beast true god was a true god to begin with. The secret technique he executed would naturally be at a given standard. He must be quite a greedy one to think of attacking me. He must be eyeing the great number of true god corpses I have collected. The eight-hooved beast god was looking forward to the outcome of their fight. Ha ha ha. A young chap who is a Law Master and is quite impressive. He must be one of the top-tiered elites in the army and must have been bestowed with a true god armor. I would never have expected to obtain my true god armor from a Law Master. The eight-hooved beast true god did not attempt to escape. On the contrary, he charged forward like mad. The gigantic blade figure and the huge beast were howling as they both tore through the surrounding purple vines to charge directly at one another. Several true gods fighting on the faraway battlefield had already noticed that in the region on the edge of the battlefield, a blurry blade figure had appeared. They all recognized it the moment they laid eyes on it. It was none other than the extraordinary talent that had stolen the corpses away. It's that Law Master. It's that super genius. That Law Master had the guts to come here again? No matter how ingenious he was only a Law Master. That Law Master dared come again? No matter how gifted he is only a Law Master. Let's catch this talent. Kill him. Suddenly, there were true gods flying over. They were all aware that when the army trained and honed talents, true gods of void space were not allowed to intervene. But true gods were allowed to act, so even if talents were annihilated by true gods, they only had themselves to blame for not being capable enough. For the group of true gods to fly here, they will need 29 seconds, Luo Feng confirmed right away. The true god level battlefield was boundless to begin with. The eight-hooved beast true god was wandering around the region by the edge of the battlefield while Luo Feng's position was in more of a remote area. Even if the ultimate speed limit in the world of Jin was very high, to rush over to where the beast true god was, he most certainly required 29 seconds. 29 seconds. Let's finish it out. Luo Feng's gaze was focused on the eight-hooved beast true god before him. Ha ha. He is one greedy Law Master to not consider his escape, said the eight-hooved strange beast. Given his ability to escape and dodge, I am definitely no match for its speed. But if he were to fight me up front, I can finish him off as quickly as possible. It will be my claim to fame. The eight-hooved beast true god was going crazy with excitement, and his single eye was flashing colors filled with murderous intentions. Two gigantic figures finally crossed paths. With a thunderous roar, the eight-hooved beast true god waved its front claw across the length of space it was in, then blades met. Luo Feng was swift as a tornado, avoiding the attack in a flash. Dodging again. roared the eight-hooved beast true god in its heart. It lashed out a whipping blow with its incredibly fast tail, which seemed like a boneless, soft whip that was formed by connecting various knots. With a roar, it transformed into an arc that lashed out at Luo Feng. Yet, the moment Luo Feng, in the form of his blurry blade figure, touched the edge of the tail, he trampled on it and settled himself on the back of the eight-hooved beast true god. It may have seemed as if everything was occurring very slowly, but when the two crossed paths, Luo Feng was on the back of the eight-hooved beast god almost immediately. Luo Feng finally brandished his blood ghost blade. Kill! His blade rays were like water adrift with no fixed direction. In an instant, it sliced down at the long neck of the eight-hooved beast true god. However, the beast true god instantly twisted its head toward the back as it opened its blood-stained mouth, revealing fangs that immediately bit onto Luo Feng's blade. The blade ray that was originally like water ripples exploded in an instant, producing a terrifying penetrating force. This was the greatest blade technique Luo Feng had created, light of water and fire. Ah! The penetrating force of the precious blade embryo, blood ghost blade, of the pulse of Duandong River, immediately caused the eight-hooved beast true god to cry out in shock and fear. Its single eye widened, filled with amazement and horror as it cried, "Impossible, impossible! After his godly power was set ablaze, how could it be stronger than mine? I am a true god, and he is only a law master." The beast true god was wrong. So wrong. Indeed, an eight-hooved beast true god's godly power was stronger than Luo Feng's godly power by one full level. However, it had never joined the army, so it did not know the unique secret technique of blazing godly power. And Luo Feng had merely executed the first volume of extermination, but it was more than enough to make up for the difference in godly power. The second volume of extermination was the reason why Luo Feng could surpass this true god before him. When it was about blazing godly power, Luo Feng was much more skilled. Luo Feng was more powerful in the close combat dodging techniques in the first place, so he was certainly much tougher and could easily dodge or ward off any attacks by the eight-hooved beast true god. Yet, on the other hand, in the face of Luo Feng's attacks, the eight-hooved beast true god could only attempt to bear the weight of it all with its brute strength. Kill! 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 Luo Feng was going mad. Sustaining the blazing level according to the second volume of extermination, his godly power was depleting like crazy. Even if no other true gods had been quickly approaching from afar, he would not have been able to continue fighting in this manner for long. Everything needed to be fast. Fast! Fast! Luo Feng's entire soul seemed to have infused into the blood ghost blade he wielded. Light of water and fire! 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 Blade rays like water carried a formidable power, and this power seemed to be faintly on the rise. Under the ultimate limit, Luo Feng's comprehension of blade techniques was unexpectedly on the rise, and yet, at that very moment, he had not noticed it at all. All his focus was concentrated on the eight-hooved beast true god before him as he tried his best to kill it in the shortest time possible. No, the eight-hooved beast true god was stunned. Almost instantly, over 100 blade rays were raining down on it, hacking onto it successively, causing it to weaken at an insane rate. It was flustered. It was terrified. It longed to escape. No. The eight-hooved beast true god was no longer holding onto any traces of desire to kill Luo Feng. It didn't care how this law master could wield such strong combat powers, it only wanted to escape and survive. However, before Luo Feng's ominous close combat techniques, even simply escaping was too much to ask for. There was no escape. I'll kill. Luo Feng was beyond insanity as a blurry, gigantic blade figure appeared. His entire being seemed to have merged as one with blood ghost blade, and the blade rays were like ocean waves crashing down on the eight-hooved beast true god. With each passing second, hundreds and thousands of blade rays kept roaring away, annihilating everything in a frenzied manner. This was a storm that would annihilate everything. There was no escape. There was no way it could be stopped. No chance of gaining an advantage over it. Astonishment. Not only was the eight-hooved beast true god being knocked senseless, but even the several dozen true gods who had discovered Luo Feng and were now flying over were stunned. How is it possible? If he only had impressive skills in dodging, so be it. But how can it be that his attacks are also impossible? How can he be so powerful? His blade must be an automaton-type treasure. It must be. They were all in denial, unable to accept the fact that in a one-on-one confrontation, a true god could be defeated by a law master. They could only accept one explanation. This law master must have used an automaton-type treasure, and that blade was an automaton-type treasure. Through the central operation of the automaton machine within it, the blade was able to release an outburst of combat power that far surpassed what a law master was supposedly capable of. This must be the case. On the faraway true god-level battlefield, the captain, who had been silently lying low in ambush, was in great shock as he watched everything happening with wide eyes. Earlier on, when he saw Luo Feng charging out, he had shaken his head, albeit in a most discreet manner. He found this new recruit, Milky River, to be foolish and arrogant to attempt to belittle the power of a true god. After all, even a captain like himself, wielding an automaton-type treasure, might only have a small chance of killing that true god. But the time spent trying to do so would, in turn, cause him to be entrapped by the other true gods. He is going to die, for sure, the captain had said. At the time, he had been convicted. But right now? How could? The captain was flabbergasted. He was unable to fathom how a new recruit could be so powerful enough to suppress a true god. That was absolute suppression. Even if it was the most ordinary kind of true god, the outcome should not be far from the norm. It must be an automaton-type treasure. Before he joined the army, he already had an automaton-type treasure with him, his battle blade. That must be it. It must be. That blade must be the reason his power can soar by multiple levels. That is how he can completely suppress this beast true god. The brutal fighting was ongoing within the true god level battlefield. Over 1,000 true gods had noticed that, at the farthest region at the edge of the battlefield, there was another battle going on between an ordinary level 8-hooved beast true god from their side and a mere law master. The fact, placed right before their very eyes, was that the law master was attacking with such fervor that the true god was left with no room for retaliation. That blade must be an automaton-type treasure. It must be. Almost every one of them was sure of this. Blood Ghost Blade was a blade embryo, thus, it was extremely precious. However, it merely raised Luo Feng's attacks by a single level, not as what everyone else had thought to be as a couple of levels. Luo Feng was powerful because of his close combat techniques, his mastery of the first 2 volumes of extermination, and his comprehension of light, of water and fire. Streams of blade rays that resembled water ripples crashed into the 8-hooved beast true god like crazy. These blade rays were approaching a state of perfection. Under the influence of such endless blade rays, the 8-hooved beast true god was getting more and more helpless. It was no longer able to put up such a strong resistance. No. Suddenly, the 8-hooved beast true god felt a sensation arising within his chest. This time around, it might really have to face annihilation. I am, rightfully, a true god. The 8-hooved beast true god was roaring furiously in its mind. The endless blade rays enshrouded everything around them. The 8-hooved beast true god finally breathed its last breath as its life core disintegrated, and it was reduced to annihilation. Its armor and some other items speedily broke away from it, and Luo Feng quickly waved his arm to claim the armor. He also claimed the other items breaking apart from the annihilated true god. Luo Feng transformed into a streak of flowing light right away and escaped as far as he could. As for the area where the fighting took place, although earlier on, most of the purple vines had snapped and fallen onto the surface of the marsh. There was no longer a single trace of them to be found. A true god was annihilated. The law master had won. And more than 30 beast true god corpses were all his to take. From the faraway true god level battlefield, a powerful beast true god with 3 sharp, golden horns roared in rage, after him. Get the corpses of my brothers of 9 Smoke Marsh by any means. Catch him. Seize him. All the strange beast true gods were furious. Even the true gods from Xianyu Mountain were shocked. For a law master to be able to kill a true god in such a short time was incredible. Fortunately for them, that law master had seized the true god bodies of 9 Smoke Marsh, so those from Xianyu Mountain didn't need to worry. Yet 9 Smoke Marsh was very anxious. The bodies of the brothers of 9 Smoke Marsh, roared the strange beast with 3 golden horns. More than 30 bodies. We must get them back. We must get them back. Get them back. Get them back. The strange beast true gods were yelling. After all, there were only a certain number of true gods in 9 Smoke Marsh, so they all knew each other well. Some of the dead bodies might have belonged to very close friends. It was a great being's destiny to die on the battlefield, but their bodies would still be buried appropriately after they died. However, more than 30 bodies had been seized, and seized by a law master. How could they let it go? Ba-ku-la, go get that law master and get the bodies of our brothers back, yelled a strange beast true god with 3 golden horns. I'll catch him. Streaks of light flew away, racing after Luo Feng. There were 50 of them in total. Luo Feng kept changing directions in the grass in Nine Smoke Marsh. He slowed down, not wanting to cause any ripples. He was fleeing the true god battlefield, and because he was changing his direction, the 50 true gods didn't go the right way. 50 true gods are coming after me, and they are not some mediocre true gods. Most of them have true god level armor. Even though Luo Feng was confident, he still didn't want to be surrounded by all 50 of those true gods. There were, after all, 50 of them. And besides, true gods in the world of Jin were, in general, more powerful than those in Universe Ocean. Godly power wasn't suppressed in the world of Jin, so that made them 2 levels more powerful. Even that mediocre, 8-clawed strange beast true god had a technique at level 8, and if he utilized all his power, he might be at level 9. When he had been fighting Luo Feng, he was already injured, so he was only at top tier level 8. He also didn't have true god armor to protect him, so he had been killed by Luo Feng's blades. If I get encircled by those 50 true gods, it will be worse than being encircled by F500 true gods in Universe Ocean. Even if I were Boat of Mausoleum, I still couldn't guarantee that I could get away. Luo Feng had to be careful. He changed directions without warning and moved toward the periphery of Nine Smoke Marsh. The fight between Nine Smoke Marsh and Xianyu Mountain involved too many great beings. More than 10,000 true gods were involved, and Nine Smoke Marsh had sent 50 true gods to capture Luo Feng. It didn't affect the overall power of Nine Smoke Marsh. On the periphery of the battlefield of true gods, the captain was retreating. 50 true gods are trying to capture the new soldier Milky Way. Don't capture me instead. He was on the opposite side as Luo Feng, so he wasn't in any danger whatsoever. It took him several days to get back to the battlefield of Law Masters. He decided to pretend to be a tribal warrior and disguised himself in the Great Army. That new soldier Milky Way is too powerful. The captain was in the army, and he recalled how Luo Feng had killed a true god. He's too powerful. I need a machine-type valuable to be able to rival him. More than 30 bodies of true gods. That equates to a great many military credits. He can get a machine-type valuable with those. If I can get another machine-type valuable, I can survive even incarnation-level tasks. Then I can train myself in the military, become a true god, and get a more advanced inheritance. His grey eyes glinted with greed. He wanted those bodies. How can I get them? The captain came up with an idea. He immediately sent a message to all the 17 soldiers using his token. Everyone. Captain. Captain. What do you want, Captain? Captain. They all responded. The captain kept sending the message. Several days ago, the 8-hooved strange beast true god who was responsible for collecting bodies was killed by another true god, and at that moment, that new soldier, Milky Way, suddenly appeared and seized the body. He then got away. What? He got the body of that 8-hooved strange beast true god? That strange beast who collected bodies? All the soldiers were shocked. The captain continued. Yes. That strange beast true god. The new soldier Milky Way seized the body and the valuables left behind, including the valuable that holds all the bodies of true gods. That strange beast true god had collected more than 30 bodies of true gods before. Now, Milky Way has all of them. All the 17 soldiers were all excited. More than 30 bodies of true gods. That would equate to an enormous military credit. The true gods from Nine Smoke Marsh are furious, and 50 true gods are now trying to find Milky Way, the captain continued. They want to capture him. I just saw it, one soldier replied. Lots of strange beast true gods. I was wondering why they would be flying in the sky without fighting. I've seen them as well, said another. I saw many strange beast true gods as well. I saw many strange beast true gods yesterday as well. The captain said, those strange beast true gods are still flying everywhere. Apparently, they haven't captured him. The entire Nine Smoke Marsh is blocked from the outside by true gods of void space, which means that Milky Way must be within Nine Smoke Marsh, yet those strange beast true gods can't find him. There's only one possibility. He's hiding among the army of Xianyu Mountain. That's right. That's right, He must be hiding in the army of Xianyu Mountain. Xianyu Mountain is an enemy of Nine Smoke Marsh. He's among an army of law masters. The strange beast true gods from Nine Smoke Marsh don't dare to go the army of law masters. True gods were indeed powerful. However, when there were over 10,000 universe masters, even true gods didn't dare to mess with them. Everyone, said the captain. Those strange beast true gods can't enter the army of Xianyu Mountain, but we can. We now go and look for him, and once we find him, we'll tell other soldiers. And we'll gather and fight that new soldier Milky Way. There's no guarantee that we can kill that new soldier Milky Way. The new soldier Milky Way is powerful. All the soldiers answered. The captain said, I know it will be very difficult to kill him, but he's most afraid of being exposed now. If we can threaten him and force him to give us most of the true god bodies, he can still keep a few of them. If he dares not to give them to us, we'll tell those strange beast true gods where he is, and he'll be doomed. That's right. We can't get enough military credits by ourselves. We might as well threaten him. He will give it to us. He has so many bodies of true gods, and I only need one. We'll force him to give us the bodies. The eyes of the captain glinted coldly. Everything was going exactly as he expected. He hadn't even told them that it was the new soldier Milky Way who had killed the strange beast true god. The 17 soldiers under him were all cheerful and weren't afraid of Luo Feng at all. That new soldier Luo Feng is indeed powerful, but those soldiers all have true god armors, so it's not an easy job to kill them, the captain thought. They know I might be using them, but for military credits, they'll still give it their best shot. No matter what, I'll have most of the true god bodies. The captain's eyes glinted all the more insanely. He had wanted to befriend Luo Feng before, but under the temptation of the military credits, he now opted for another path. After all, the best thing that could guarantee his survival was power. I can't find him. That law master seems to have disappeared. We can't find him. All the strange beasts were scattered around different battlefields, and they were looking for Luo Feng. He must have been hiding in the army of Xianyu Mountain, among those law masters. He's got to be. All those strange beast true gods all figured that out, yet they didn't dare to mess around the law master army. Both the strange beast soldiers and the captain speculated that Luo Feng was in the army of Xianyu Mountain. And they had it right. I'll be found no matter where I hide, thought Luo Feng. However, if I hide here, the strange beast true gods won't dare to enter even if they know I'm here. The tribal warriors were all yelling in anger and fighting the strange beasts. Luo Feng was one of the tribal warriors. There seemed to be no order. However, if a strange beast true god dared to rush into the army, the tribal warriors would attack him immediately. Also, if a tribal true god raced toward the strange beasts, the law master strange beasts would attack that tribal true god at the same time as well. It was a hidden law. Law masters could fight each other fairly. However, when it came to true gods, they would join forces against the true god. Lots of tribal warriors gather in Nine Smoke Marsh. Strange beast true gods know that I'm here, but they don't dare to inspect it. After the war ends, I'll leave Nine Smoke Marsh immediately. Luo Feng spent the days here. 1 month after another passed. Luo Feng had been in the tribal warrior army from Xianyu Mountain for 3 months. With his power, it was easy for him to survive in the army. Just when Luo Feng was enjoying his time, waiting for the day when he could leave. Kill the bastards from Nine Smoke Marsh. Luo Feng's body was enormous, and his messy hair made him look like a savage. He was roaring right along with other tribal warriors. But suddenly, he slowed down. Huh? Luo Feng glanced around. A tribal warrior looked toward him. The tribal warrior smirked and moved his lips. He didn't make a sound, but Luo Feng knew what he was saying, Milky Way. It's a soldier under the captain, Luo Feng realized immediately. This video will end here.